Hello guys and welcome back to the Behind the Dugouts, and in this transfer roundup window we're going to be discussing a few stories that have been circulating around Chelsea over the last day or so. It's quite tough to discuss transfer news with Chelsea at the moment. You never really quite know what's rumours are true and what is some PR propaganda that's been spewed out by the club. In particular, I think the journos had a bit of a mare with the Mike Maignan situation. 1 minute we're going back in for him, and the next minute the deal's completely off. So it is quite difficult at the moment. But there's a few stories that have popped up over today that I wanted to discuss. Starting things off with this guy, Mr. Robert Sanchez. Now, it has been reported that West Ham United have been considering a move for Chelsea goalkeepers Robert Sanchez if Alfonso Areola leaves the club. This is music to my ears, to be honest. I'm one, if not, the whole fan base can agree that Sanchez is not the right number one for Chelsea. So if this rumour is to be true and West Ham are considering, I'll drive him down there myself. I'll happily, free of charge. I'll tie him up in a bow, whatever is more pleasing to West Ham. And one of the things that does make me think that this could be a little bit true is who's the gaffer now? Mr. Potts himself. Could he do us a favour? He had a terrible stint at us a few years back. This could be his redemption arc. I think all Chelsea fans would flood to the Twitter if this was to happen, praising Graham Potter of, how great of a signing and what a great coach he is after, if this was to be pulled off. Look, we all know Sanchez is not the guy. After every game, even though he had the good end to the season, he had that spell of about 6 games where he was doing decent. The first game in the Club World Cup was okay, but just when you're sort of getting into that false sense of security, he comes back, gives us a bit of his greatest hits and show us the reason why we all know he's not the right one. The distribution is poor when he's under pressure. He just can't do it, and he causes so many unforced errors. So many chances are created. He led in chances given away last season. So this is, it's a move that I would welcome with open arms, as I believe everybody would. Concern is, will Chelsea go out and sign a top number one? Will they actually go in for Mike Maignan? Will they go get him over the line? It's one of those, with the way that the club moves, and I just have a feeling that they may resort to just using Jorgensen if Sanchez was to go. Petrovic looks pretty much dead in the water now. He's going to be sold. I think what tipped the iceberg for him was coming in and demanding that number one spot. Again, fully in his right. The season he had at Strasbourg last year, he is, out of all the goalkeepers we have, again, I can't talk much about Mike Penders because we've not really seen enough of him, but out of Petrovic, Jorgensen and Sanchez, he is the better goalkeeper. But you can't come in and just say, from what I've heard, is he demanded to be number one, otherwise he's not going to the Club World Cup, and you just can't do that. So that's the situation we are with Petrovic. So I do hope that if this is the route that Sanchez is going to go down and he is going to leave the club, which, please, hope we do go and sign a decent goalkeeper. And my eyes are set on Mike Maignan. I think he is the perfect option for us, and for the transfer fee you just can't complain. We need a solid goalkeeper. It's part of the spine that we need to build, and this is a position that has been crying out for season after season that needs to be fixed. I don't think we've had the correct goalkeeper since Courtois. We've gone through Kepa and things like that. It's just, this is a position that needs to be fixed. This could be the start, and hopefully we'll go about it in the right way. Moving into another position which desperately needs some love and care is the left wing. We've been linked to quite a few players: Bino Gittins, Malik Fofana. Your rumour of Kudus come up, so there's a few rumours going around. One that sort of has come out of nowhere. Again, I don't know how true this is, but it's touted today by L'Equipe in France, a very reputable journalist out there, probably one of the top journalists out in France, and they came out with this today. PSG have turned down approaches for Chelsea, Arsenal and Bayern Munich for Bradley Barcola, who wants to remain in Paris this summer. Now, Barcola's an interesting one. Definitely would take him within the side. He's got great quality. He is a proper out-and-out winger. Loves to take on players. He's done so well for PSG last year. The interesting thing is we actually were in for Barcola last season. I think he turned us down, from what I understand, to go to PSG. So it's interesting that the rumours are coming back that we are going in for him. Do I think he's going to leave? Not a chance. I think he is quite settled and happy in France. I suppose you just never know. He is a player that I think would suit Maresca, would suit the style of football that we want to play, and he has shown he's got all the qualities of competing at the top level. You know, PSG Champions League winners last season, so we know he's up there, and we all know his quality. It's definitely, out of the wingers that we've been linked to so far, I would say I would tip him to be the more exciting option. Now, speaking about one of those other options, there's been some update on Malik Fofana today. Liverpool currently lead Chelsea in the race to sign Lyon's Malik Fofana, who is valued at €50 million. However, Olympique Lyon are hoping that a bidding war could see the Belgium international price rise to €70 million. It's not what I want. I don't want to get into another bidding war with Liverpool. Just brings back the whole Caicedo thing. I think we would have got Caicedo for a lot less had Liverpool not entered into that race. I'm happy that we got him at the end of the day, but a club like Lyon, when they see this happening, they see the potential of two clubs bidding for one of their players, they're going to be licking their lips, you know. They don't need to do anything now. They don't need to negotiate price, because every time one club will come in with a price, they'll let the other club know. The other club will come home with a little bit of higher price, and it will just go up and up until one gives up. So for Lyon, this is great. For us, this is not good. We don't want a bidding war, especially, look, Malik Fofana, he is, out of the two young ones that we're looking at, obviously I know Barcola is quite young, but out of the two in Bino Gittins and Malik Fofana, I would prefer Malik Fofana. I think he's got a few more qualities in a winger that Bino Gittins doesn't. I think Bino Gittins might suit Maresca's system a little bit better, but in terms of the quality, I think Malik Fofana would bring that more so than Bino Gittins. The problem being is both of them, Dortmund are wanting about £55 million. We'll discuss a little bit more on Bino Gittins in a minute. And with Malik Fofana, when there's a bidding war, his price, he probably could have got him for around €45 million, £35 million, something like that. But now with Liverpool coming in, that price, like as mentioned there, could rise up to €70 million. That's what Lyon are hoping. And you're going to spend €70 million on a 20-year-old, unproven in the Premier League, another youngster that needs good time to develop and, settle in. It's a gamble, and it becomes, it's a gamble already. Without that price being 70 million, it's going to be a risk. But now it's going to be even more of a risk when you're paying that much money, for a player that you don't know if it's even going to work out because of, his young age. Now, I think there is going to be a time sort of window where we will be able to bid and get Malik Fofana without the pressure from Liverpool, being they've just broken the British transfer record and signed, Florian Wirtz. So in terms of PSR, they're going to have to get rid of players before they even entertain going to get another player, because they're still obviously looking at signing Kirkes from Bournemouth, which hasn't been finished yet, but I believe he's having a medical soon. So they're already spending some more money, and there's only been one outgoing with Trent, who I know originally was going on a free, but I think they got around 10 million to let him go early to play in the Club World Cup. But 10 million is, nothing scratched off the Wirtz money, really. So I think there is a small window where Chelsea could get Malik Fofana without any pressure, but they have to act quickly. If this is the route that they want to take and this is the player that they are interested, they need to be quick about it, and they need to get it done before Liverpool can even get a sniff. I know Liverpool talking about selling Chiesa in order to facilitate this move, but there's been nothing on him so far. So if Chelsea, if you want to get this done, go do it now before Liverpool can, bump that price up, and then it becomes a different talking point. And I think one of the biggest problems we have here is this is a position we need players for. I think we need two. I think we need two wingers to go in to next season on the left-hand side. I'd like it to be a youngster and one with a little bit more experience, and I'm going to talk about one in particular in a moment. But we've got Noni, Pedro on the right, and Esteval to come in, who can also go into the 10 to, switch around Palmer. And then left wing, we've got Tyreek George. So I think we do need 2 wingers at a minimum at the moment. And now with other clubs entering this race for the wingers that we're looking at, it's going to drive the price up. I mean, Dortmund were already pushing the price for Gittins, so it was, always expected it was going to increase. Now with Bayern Munich coming in, it could potentially see that price rise 50. We don't know to what level Bayern Munich are willing to go to pay. If we go in at 58 million, they might come in at 62, and then it just keeps going up, and then you're looking at paying astronomical fees, more so than it's already on the table. It's just too much risk for the price, and the clubs that are selling the players will be rubbing their hands because they're in the best position. They don't have to do, like I mentioned with Leon, they don't have to do anything now, Dortmund. They can just let it unfold naturally and have these bids coming left and right, because it's naturally going to go up. So I'm slightly concerned with the way that the club's going to manoeuvre this now. Like I said, for the Malik Fofana, if they go out and they do it early, if that's the route they want to take, do it before Liverpool can get a sniff. With Bayern Munich, tend to operate a little bit slower in most cases for players anyway. But it's also the first time I've really heard them interested in Gittins, so there could still be a window that we could get it done before. However, there's one player I wanted to talk about which I would prefer that we sort of spend more time on and use this one as a priority, because I think it would suit us down to a T, and that's this guy, Mohamed Kudus. Now, we had a few rumours before the Club World Cup that Chelsea were interested in Mohamed Kudus again, and there has been a rumour that's come out today, not exactly a transfer rumour, but it's actually quite important when you look at the detail of what's actually happening, and that's this. Mohamed Kudus has switched agents to Roof Management in what could be the clearest indication yet that he could be on the move. And this is, is quite true. Players only really switch agents is when they're not happy with their current agent finding them the right move. I think Victor Osimhen did it with his collapse deal last summer. RIP on that one. He switched from his agents immediately after that, and obviously got the move to Galatasaray. And it's the same with this. Players that want to force a move out, and I don't think he's particularly forcing West Ham to sell him, but he does want to go, and the fact that he's changed his agency does mean that he does want to leave, because now he's employing someone to go out and do a better job of finding him a club than his previous agent. And this is good news for Chelsea. I know we've been linked with him. I think Mohamed Kudus is a phenomenal player. He also is a versatile player and has the ability to play left, right, middle, up front. Done it for West Ham. I wish we kind of got him last year when it was the option to get him. It would have been a lot cheaper. I think at that point it was about 45, maybe 40 million pounds at most, and obviously it's been tipped to be about 85 million pounds. That's his release clause, which again is only for a small window, and I think it's only for Premier League teams. I think European teams it's a cheaper release clause, which is understandable because West Ham don't really want to sell him to anyone in the Premier League. But I think this would be a perfect option. I think if we can get someone like Mohamed Kudus and either a Malik Fofana or a Bino Gittins, Mohamed Kudus will bring you that. Again, he's only like 23, 24 years old. He would bring you that experience, still young, has played in the Premier League, and will give you that quality. He'll also be able to help bed in, teach the younger players coming in, like Fofana, who's 20. I think Gittins is about 19. And he will give them that added experience, and they won't be relied upon straight away. I think the biggest problem with the club at the moment is we buy these youngsters and we put so much pressure on them, and then we wonder why they fail. And this is a particular instance that would be good for us to bring in some experience alongside a younger player to help build them up. That's why I like the fact that we've got Neto and Noni and Esteval on the right. So Esteval, at least I hope he's not going to come and they're just going to throw him straight in and go, this is your position now, we expect you to do everything. he can learn from Noni and Pedro, and I know they're both still young. Noni younger than than Neto, but it gives Esteval the time to develop and bed himself into the team and allow himself to grow naturally and not forced growth because he has to. And the biggest problem we've had with our strikers is we could potentially be going down the same route if we sell Jackson and just relying on Liam Delap. It's not going to help with Liam Delap's growth and development if the pressure is all just going to be piled onto him. Again, it's different if you're at a smaller club, but now he's going to be playing for a club in the Champions League. The pressure is, and Chelsea, Chelsea fans are the most part, because of what we've experienced through the Abramovich era, our expectations and what we expect from our players are really high. So when these young players come in, we try really hard not to put these hard expectations onto them, but we reminisce about the old times and we go, why are you not doing what you should be doing? This tends to be the downfall with a lot of the young players that do come through the Chelsea ranks. So I hope, I would like to have Mohamedou Kudus in alongside another winger. I do think we need to. But let me know your thoughts. What do you think? Who would you prefer out of the four wingers mentioned today in Barcola, Kudus, Fona and Gittins? Let me know in the comments. Moving into the last topic that I wanted to talk about that's come out today on Malo Gusto and the interest from Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich are interested in securing the services of Chelsea fullback Malo Gusto. According to reports, Chelsea would be willing to sell the Frenchman, whose contract runs until 2030, for a fee of around €50 million. Now, there's been a few conflicting stories on this one. Some say, Bayern Munich are seriously interested. Some say that they're not that interested. He's not a priority because they have a few right-back options with the added option of playing Kimmich at right-back, which Thomas Tuchel did do quite often. Look, I'm going to be real here. My personal opinion, I don't think we should get rid of Malo Gusto. I know this is a conflicting debate going within the Chelsea fan base at the moment, and it's going one of two ways. One saying people would know we need to get rid of him, sell him. Others saying no, we should keep him. He's a good backup for Reece James. I personally don't think we should get rid of him. I think, yes, he's had a poor season, and yes, he may not fit Maresca's system and the way he wants to play. But he's a 22-year-old young international footballer. I feel with a bit more time, and I know this is hard to hear because we're at the top level, we're playing in the top level, this is Chelsea Football Club, players don't get given time, we need them to be ready. But when you're bringing in young players, we always say you bring them in alongside experience. Malo Gusto has the benefit of playing with, as long as he stays fit, the best right back in the world on his day when he's fit in Reece James. What better player to learn from? He is also a very good technical footballer. I feel personally that Malo Gusto can learn this system. I know we've had a whole year for him to try, but time is on his side. He is 22, as I mentioned. He has got time to develop. I just put one instance out. Look at Cucurella. He had multiple poor seasons with us. We were calling for his head. What a waste of money. We were ready to, beat down Brighton because they sold us a dud player. Now look, it's the first name on the team sheet. We can't pick a squad without him. I feel Gusto is a player that is going to need a bit more time to develop. And I also personally think this is just on as much as Maresca as it is Gusto. And this could be the coach side coming out of me. I've done a bit of coaching myself back in the day. But for me, it's the job of the coach, manager, whatever you want to call them, to develop his players, especially young players. And I feel that we slate Malo Gusto a lot for his poor performances, which is right. No player will escape criticism. If you're having a poor game, you're having a poor game. It's right to call it out. But there's also, the side where Maresca needs to develop Gusto to fit this system, because you can't tell me Gusto does not have the ability to learn. And if you just take him off the first season, he was one of our most outstanding players in that season. Yes, he's had a poor season, but so have a lot of the other players in the team. Yes, it's a rut, but I do think personally that Gusto can come out of this and he can fit this system. I do believe with a bit more time he will adapt and be able to play the way that Maresca wants him to play. But the caveat to that is he is also now in a position to earn the club some profit. He was bought for reasonably cheap. We could make a considerable amount of profit on Malo Gusto, especially with a club like Bayern Munich interested in. So do I think that there's no way that we don't sell? Absolutely not. I think if Bayern Munich do come in with an offer, even if it's like 5-10 million over, I think the club will take it. Would I be sad to see him go? Yes. Do I think it's the end of the world if he leaves? No. Reason being is we do have a very capable youngster waiting in the wings, and that's Josh Achampong. And Maresca waxes lyrical about Josh Achampong. Haven't seen him a lot recently, but he did have a good, campaign with us last year, played a majority of the Conference League and done really well. And he is a very good understudy to Reece James. So if Malo Gusto was to go, I don't think we need to rush out and get a replacement. I think we have a ready-made replacement in Josh Achampong. But I would still like to keep, I would still like to keep Malo Gusto, especially being with the amount of football we're going to play next season. I think 3 players per position is probably the best route, especially with how many injuries Reece James had. Touch wood, it's past now, and he seems to be maintaining the level of intensity, and he's been able to play more, get more and more games. So I'm hoping it's all past now, and Reece James is going to be the one going forward. But it's because again, he's incredibly young too. He's 25 maybe. We've got good options for the right back position. But that's just my thoughts. I'd love to hear what you think about Malo Gusto. Do you think he should go? If you do think he should go, is Josh Achampong ready, or should we go out and get a replacement for him? Just let me know in the comments below. And if there is any developments in these stories, I will keep you updated. But that's all for me, guys, and I will catch you in the next one.